I sit on the edge of the bed in the room my mother gave me after I moved in. The mattress is soft, the sheets smell clean and new, nothing like the ones I grew up with. This whole place still feels strange. Her new house, the quiet halls, the way the light falls differently through the windows. I stare at the floorboards and try to steady my breathing. Adrian's words from earlier keep spinning in my head like a broken record. Every time I close my eyes I see his face when he says them. Nothing feels steady anymore. Not the house, not the quiet, not even the air. I can't stop thinking about the scraps my mother has given me so far. They sit heavy in my chest. I stand up, pull a sweater over my shoulders, and walk out into the hallway. Soft light spills from the kitchen. She's there, standing by the sink with a mug in her hands, staring out the dark window like she's waiting for something that never arrives. I stop in the doorway. My heart beats hard against my ribs. Mom! She turns. Her eyes look tired. Sienna, you're still up. I haven't moved closer yet. I keep my voice steady even though my hands are shaking. I need you to tell me the truth. All of it. Why did you leave me with Dad all those years ago? She sets the mug down carefully, like it might break if she drops it. For a long second she just looks at me. Then she nods once. Slow. Come sit, she says. We sat at the kitchen table. The wood is smooth and light-colored, nothing like the scratch table from my old house. I rest my hands on it while she takes a breath. Before your father got really sick, she begins, our marriage was already falling apart. I was young, scared. I didn't know how to handle the life we had. Bills, arguments, the quiet that sat between us like a wall. I felt like I was drowning and no one could see it. I keep my eyes on the table. I don't interrupt. I met Alexander later. He was different, steady. He made me feel like I could breathe again. When I finally decided to leave, your father was already sick. Not the worst of it yet, but bad enough. He looked at me one night and begged. He said, "Don't take her. Please, let me keep her with me." Her voice cracks on the last word. She swallows. So I left you with him. I told myself it was temporary, that once I was settled, once I had a real place and a real life, I would come back for you. I meant it. At least I thought I did. I finally looked up. Her eyes are wet. Years passed, she says. Every year it got harder to face what I'd done. I kept telling myself next month, next birthday, next Christmas. But the shame grew, and the distance grew with it. I convinced myself you were better off without me, that your father was giving you everything I couldn't. I feel something hot rise in my throat. He never told me how sick he was. She nods. I know. He worked as much as his body would let him. He made sure you never felt like anything was missing. Even when the doctors told him it was terminal, he hid the worst of it. He didn't want your last months with him filled with fear. That's why he never said the words out loud. He didn't want you to spend those days counting down. The kitchen goes quiet except for the soft hum of the refrigerator. I press my palms flat against the table so they won't shake. I break. The sob comes up from somewhere deep, ugly and raw. My shoulders shake. Tears spill fast and I can't stop them. I cover my face with both hands, but it doesn't help. Everything I've held in for years comes pouring out at once. The empty birthdays, the nights I waited for a call that never came, the way I used to stare at the door of the old house hoping she'd walk through it. I thought you didn't love me, I choke out. I thought I wasn't enough. She's out of her chair in a second. She kneels beside me, her hands hovering like she's afraid I'll push her away. I was afraid, she whispers. Not of you, of myself, of failing you again, of looking you in the eye and seeing how much I'd hurt you. That doesn't make it right. Nothing erases the years we lost. I know that. I drop my hands. My face is wet and hot. I look at her, really look. The lines around her eyes, the way her mouth trembles, the guilt sitting plain on her face. For the first time I understand she didn't leave because she didn't love me. She left because she was terrified. That knowledge doesn't fix the empty space those years carved out of me. It doesn't bring back the school plays she missed or the nights I cried into my pillow wishing she was there. But it softens something sharp inside my chest. I take a shaky breath. My voice comes out small. I needed you then. I pause, swallowing hard. But maybe we can start again now. Her eyes fill completely. She doesn't speak. She just opens her arms. I lean forward. For a second I freeze, old habits telling me to pull back. Then I let myself fall into her. Her arms wrap around me tight. She smells like the same lotion she used when I was little, something soft and familiar I thought I'd forgotten. I bury my face in her shoulder and cry harder, quieter this time. She holds me like she's afraid I'll disappear if she loosens her grip. One of her hands strokes the back of my hair the way she used to when I was small and scared of thunderstorms. We stay like that for a long time. The clock on the wall ticks. Outside, a car passes and the headlights sweep across the ceiling of this new house that still doesn't quite feel like home. Neither of us moves. When I finally pull back, my eyes feel swollen. She wipes my cheeks with her thumbs, gentle. "I'm here now," she says. "I'm not going anywhere." I nod. That's all I can manage. Later that night I couldn't sleep. The house is quiet. Everyone else has gone to bed. I wander into the living room with a glass of water and stop in front of a bookshelf that still looks half unpacked. There's a cardboard box on the bottom shelf, flaps open, filled with old photos and loose papers she must have brought from somewhere. I sit on the floor and open it wider. Dust rises. I sift through the pictures slowly. There's one of me as a baby in Dad's arms. Another of the three of us at the beach when I was 5. Then my fingers find a photograph near the bottom, edges soft from age. I pulled it out. Noah stands in the middle of a sunny yard, maybe 7 or 8 years old, grinning with a missing front tooth. Beside him is a little boy with dark hair and the same serious eyes I know so well now. Adrian. Younger. Smaller. But unmistakably him. They're standing side by side in front of the Kingsley house. I stare at the photo until the image blurs. My pulse picks up. Everything Adrian said earlier. Every strange look Noah has ever given me. Every time I wondered why Noah has always lived in that house, suddenly it all lined up. I understand why Noah has always lived in the Kingsley house. I stand in the doorway of the living room, hands shoved in my pockets, watching Sienna turn the old photograph over in her fingers. The late-night quiet of the Kingsley house presses in around us. She's been quiet since she found it. I know what she's about to ask before the words leave her mouth. She looks up. Her eyes are still red from earlier. "Why do you live here?" she asks. The question lands soft, but it hits hard. I've dodged it for months. Every time someone asked, I gave the easy answer. School, hockey, convenience. Never the real one. Tonight the truth sits on my tongue like something I've kept too long. I walk closer and sit on the edge of the couch across from her. The cushions shift under my weight. I rest my elbows on my knees and look at the floor for a second, gathering the pieces. My parents were close friends with Alexander long before I ever became Adrian's best friend. I start. My voice comes out lower than I mean it to. Back when I was little. They went way back. Dinner parties, holidays, the whole thing. My dad spent years working overseas. He'd be gone for months at a time. My mom had this demanding job that kept her traveling too. She tried, but it was hard. A lot of empty rooms and quiet nights. Sienna stays still, the photo still in her hands. I keep going. The Kingsleys stepped in. They became my second family without anyone making a big deal about it. Alexander would pick me up from school when my mom was out of town. Mrs. Kingsley made sure there was always an extra plate at the table. I'd sleep over so often that half my clothes ended up in a drawer here. I rub the back of my neck. The memory of those early years sits warm and heavy in my chest. When I got older, Alexander sat me down one afternoon. He said he and Adrian's mom had talked it over. They offered me a permanent room, so I could go to the same school as Adrian and focus on hockey without bouncing between houses. No more packing bags every other week. No more wondering whose place I'd wake up in. Just stability. I said yes. Of course I said yes. I glance at her. She's listening like every word matters. I practically grew up with Adrian after that. Same school, same practice ice, same late-night talks when neither of us could sleep. He wasn't just my best friend. He was my brother in every way that counted. We fought over stupid things, covered for each other, celebrated every win like it belonged to both of us. When my dad finally came home for good, I still stayed here most of the time. This house felt more like home than anywhere else. My throat tightens. I force the next part out. That's why betraying him has been eating me alive. Every time I look at him, I feel it. The weight of what I've done. Of what I feel for you. It's like I'm standing on the wrong side of a line I swore I'd never cross. Sienna's fingers curl around the edge of the photograph. I watch her face change, slow understanding settling in. She realizes I never moved into this house because of her. I was already part of the Kingsley family long before she ever walked through the door. The thought sits between us, quiet and solid. I take a breath that feels too big for my lungs. The words I've been afraid to say push their way up. I love you, Sienna. My voice cracks on her name. I don't look away, but I don't want you to choose me because you're running away from something. Not from the past, not from Adrian, not from the mess of everything that's happened. I need to know it's real, that it's me you want, not the easy way out. Her eyes fill. Tears gather and spill over without her wiping them away. She sets the photograph down on the coffee table like it suddenly weighs too much. Then she leans forward, elbows on her knees, mirroring the way I sit. I don't want to run anymore, she says. The words come out soft but steady. I'm tired of running. Tired of choosing the safe thing, just because it hurts less in the moment. I'm not looking at you because Adrian is complicated. I'm looking at you because when I'm with you, I feel like I can breathe. Like I don't have to hide every broken piece. Something in my chest loosens. For the first time I believe she might actually be choosing me because she wants me. Not because I'm the safe option. Not because Adrian carries too much history. Because I'm Noah, the kid who grew up in this house. The one who stayed. The one who fell for her even when it cost him everything. I reach across the space between us. My hand finds hers. Her fingers are warm. She squeezes back, and the simple pressure says more than either of us can manage with words right now. We stay like that for a stretch of quiet. The only sound is a soft tick of the clock on the mantel and the distant hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Outside, the night is still. No cars. No wind. Just the two of us sitting in a room that has held so many versions of my life. I study her face in the low light, the way her lashes are wet, the small crease between her brows that appears when she's thinking hard, the soft curve of her mouth when she finally lets herself stop fighting whatever she's feeling. I want to memorize all of it. I want to believe this moment can last longer than the guilt that's been chewing at me for weeks. She opens her mouth like she might say something else, but the sound of footsteps in the hallway cuts the quiet. Adrian walks into the room. He stops just inside the doorway. His eyes move from Sienna's hand in mine to the photograph on the table, then up to my face. I brace for the anger I've been expecting. The sharp words, the closed-off look, the brotherly betrayal written plain across his features. Instead, he smiles. It's small, tired around the edges, but real. I'm glad, he says. I stand in the living room, my hands twisting the edge of my sweater, and I still cannot believe the look on Adrian's face. After everything we have been through, I waited for anger. I waited for his eyes to harden, for his voice to turn sharp, for jealousy to spill out of him like something bitter. Instead, he looks at me with a quiet kind of peace I have never seen before. The afternoon light comes in through the tall windows and paints soft gold across the floor. Alexander stands a little to the side, watching his son with careful eyes. The air feels heavy, but not in a bad way. It feels like the moment before rain stops and the sky finally opens. Adrian takes a slow breath. He runs a hand through his dark hair, the same way he always does when he is trying to find the right words. Then he looks straight at me. You don't owe me anything, Sienna. The words land soft, but they hit deep. My chest tightens. I open my mouth, but nothing comes out at first. He keeps going, his voice steady even though I can see the slight shake in his fingers. I think I mixed up what I felt for you, he says. For so long I believed we were family. Blood family. That idea sat inside me and colored everything. I thought the pull I felt toward you was something I had to fight or hide or turn into something else. But it was never clear. Not really. Now that the truth is out, now that I know Alexander isn't my biological father, I can finally see it. What I wanted most was never belonging to me. It was you being happy. Safe. Free. I swallow hard. My throat feels thick. I take one step closer without meaning to. The floorboards creak under my feet. Adrian! He shakes his head gently, stopping me. I need time. Time to understand who I am now. Everything I thought about myself has shifted. The name, the history, the place I thought I held in this family. It's a lot. Alexander moves then. He crosses the space between them with slow, deliberate steps. His face is open, full of the kind of love that does not need words to prove itself. He places both hands on Adrian's shoulders and waits until his son meets his eyes. Blood didn't make you my son, Alexander says, voice low and firm. Loving you did. Every day, every hard day and every good one. That has not changed. It will never change. For a second Adrian just stands there. His jaw tightens. Then his face crumples. The strong, careful mask he always wears falls away. A sound leaves him, half sob, half breath, and he folds forward. Alexander pulls him in without hesitation. Strong arms wrap around his son. Adrian's hands clutch the back of his father's shirt. His shoulders shake. I hear the quiet, broken sounds of a man finally letting go of something he has carried alone for too long. I stand frozen, watching them. Tears blur my vision. I press the heel of my hand against one eye, then the other. This family has been broken in so many places. Secrets cut deep. Lies left scars. We have hurt each other without meaning to, and sometimes with full knowledge of what we were doing. Yet here they are, father and son, holding on as if the truth itself cannot tear them apart. Something warm and fragile blooms inside my chest. We are not fixed. Not yet, but we are beginning to heal. The cracks are still there, but light is getting in. I slip out of the room quietly. Neither of them notices. My feet carry me down the hall, past the old photographs on the wall, past the kitchen where the smell of coffee still lingers. I push open the back door and step outside. The air is cooler here. Late afternoon has turned the sky the soft color of peach and lavender. A light breeze moves through the trees at the edge of the yard. I walk to the low stone wall that borders the garden and sit, letting my legs hang over the side. My hands rest on the rough stone. I close my eyes and just breathe. I do not know how long I will sit there. Long enough for the sun to sink a little lower. Long enough for the first evening insects to start their soft chorus. Then I hear footsteps on the gravel path. I know it is him before I even look. The way he walks. The quiet strength in each step. Noah stops a few feet away, giving me space as he always does. I open my eyes and turn my head. He stands there in a simple dark shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows. His hair is a little messy from the wind. His eyes find mine and hold them. There is no demand in his gaze. No question waiting like a trap. Just presence. Just him. He does not speak right away. He simply walks the last few steps and sits beside me on the wall. Our shoulders almost touch. For a long moment we both look out at the trees. The silence feels easy. Safe. Then he reaches over and takes my hand. His fingers are warm. Calloused in places from work I have watched him do 100 times. He does not squeeze hard. He just holds my hand the way a person holds something precious they are afraid might slip away if they are not careful. My heart gives a hard, sudden beat. I look down at our joined hands. Then I look up at his face. The last of the sunlight catches in his eyes. I feel the truth settle inside me, quiet and sure, the way the ground feels after a long rain. I do not have to choose between guilt and happiness. I do not have to keep measuring what I deserve. I simply know. I choose you, Noah. The words leave me soft, but they feel solid, real. His eyes widen just a fraction. Then a smile breaks across his face, slow and deep, the kind that starts in the eyes before it reaches the mouth. It is not a bright, flashy smile. It is warmer than that. It is the smile of a man who has waited without pushing, who has hoped without demanding. My pulse stumbles and then races. Heat rises in my cheeks. For the first time in what feels like forever, happiness does not come with a shadow of guilt. It is clean. It is mine. I feel free. Noah shifts closer. He lifts our joined hands and presses a soft kiss to the back of my knuckles. Then he stands and gently pulls me up with him. His arms open, and I step into them without hesitation. He wraps me up, solid and warm, one hand cradling the back of my head, the other steady across my back. I bury my face against his shoulder and breathe him in. He smells like clean cotton and the faint trace of the outdoors. His lips brush the shell of my ear. His voice is low, meant only for me. Then let's stop being afraid of tomorrow. I stand on top of the stage, the black gown heavy on my shoulders, the tassel of my cap brushing my cheek every time I turn my head. The air smells like polished wood and too many flowers. My heart beats, so hard I can feel it in my throat. Months have passed since everything cracked open, and somehow the world kept turning until it brought me here. I think about Adrian first. He sits in the third row, next to Alexander. His shoulders are broader now, his smile easier. He finally met the man who gave him half his blood. I watched them talk in the park one afternoon. Adrian's hands stuffed in his pockets, the other man's face careful and kind. Adrian came home quieter that night, but not broken. He told me later, over cheap pizza on the kitchen counter, that knowing the truth felt like finding a missing page in a book he had already finished. It hurt. It helped. But when Alexander walked into the room and ruffled his hair the way he always had, Adrian leaned into it without hesitation. Alexander is still his father, the one who stayed up with him through nightmares, the one who taught him how to fix a flat tire and how to apologize when he was wrong. Their bond did not break. It stretched and settled stronger, like a scar that no longer aches. My mother sits on the other side of Alexander. We are not perfect. We never will be. Last week we sat across from each other at the kitchen table while rain tapped the windows. She told me about the years she stayed away, the fear that kept her silent. I told her about the nights I waited by the phone that never rang. Tears came. Anger came too. We did not fix everything in one conversation. We never will. But we keep talking. One hard truth at a time. She reaches for my hand more often now. I let her. And Noah, he is somewhere in that crowd too. I know the shape of his shoulders, even from this distance. He is not perfect. Neither am I. He leaves his socks on the floor and forgets to buy milk. I get quiet when I am scared and sometimes push people away before they can leave. But he sees me anyway. When I laugh too loud at a bad joke, he laughs with me. When I cannot sleep, he listens without trying to solve everything. He holds my hand in crowded rooms like it is the most natural thing in the world. He never makes me wonder if he loves me. The certainty sits in my chest like a warm stone. The dean calls my name. Sienna, hail. I walk across the stage. My legs feel unsteady, but I keep moving. The diploma is cool and smooth in my hands. I turn toward the seats. There they are. My mother is already standing, both hands pressed to her mouth. Alexander has one arm around Adrian's shoulders. Adrian is clapping so hard his face is red. And Noah is on his feet, grinning like the sun just rose just for him. He cups his hands around his mouth and shouts my name. The sound cuts through the polite applause and lands right in the center of my chest. My father is not there. I picture him anyway. The way he used to lean forward in the audience at every school play, camera ready, proud smile already in place. I know he would be proud today. The thought does not break me the way it used to. It settles beside the empty space he left and makes room for the people who are here. After the ceremony, the crowd spills outside into bright afternoon light. Caps fly into the air. Families hug. Cameras flash. I find them near the old oak tree at the edge of the lawn. My mother reaches me first. She pulls me into a hug that smells like her perfume and the soft soap she uses now. She does not say much. She just holds on a second longer than she used to. Alexander waits his turn. When he hugs me, it is solid and steady, the same way he has always been. You did good, kid, he says against my hair. I nod because words feel too small. Adrian is next. He knocks his shoulder into mine the way he always has. Told you you'd make it, he says. His eyes are bright. I see the boy who used to share secrets under blankets, and the young man who is still learning how to carry new truths. I hug him hard. Then Noah steps forward. The others step back a little, giving us space without making a show of it. He takes my hand. His fingers are warm, calloused at the tips from the work he does with them. He looks at me the way he always does, like he already knows the answer to every question I am still learning to ask. Ready to go home? He asks. I smile. The word home used to mean the apartment I shared with my father. The blue couch, the coffee mug with the chip in the rim, the sound of his key in the lock every evening. Then that home was gone, and I thought I would never find another. For a long time the word felt like a locked door. But standing here, diploma in one hand and Noah's fingers in the other, I understand something simpler. Home is not always a set of walls. Sometimes it is the people who choose to stay when staying is hard. The ones who keep showing up. The ones who let you be messy and still reach for your hand. I look at Noah, at the soft crease beside his eyes when he smiles, on the way he waits without rushing me. Yeah, I say, I'm ready. We start walking. The grass is soft under my shoes. Behind us the noise of the crowd fades a little. My mother and Alexander and Adrian fall into step nearby, close enough that I can hear their voices but not so close that the moment between Noah and me disappears. I think about the road that brought me here. My father's death changed everything. It cracked the floor beneath my feet and forced me to learn how to stand on shifting ground. My mother's return complicated the pieces I thought I had already sorted. Adrian's secret turned the map upside down and made me question what family even meant. There were nights I cried until my throat hurt, days I wanted to run and never look back. But somehow, through every sharp edge of heartbreak, I found the love I had always been searching for. Not the perfect kind that never bruises, the real kind, the kind that stays, the kind that looks at the broken parts and still chooses you. Noah's thumb brushes across my knuckles as we walk. I squeezed his hand once. He squeezes back. I am not afraid to keep this. Not anymore. The Yendi. And just like that, Sienna's story has come to an end. Red Heart, did you love the ending? And were you Team Noah or Team Adrian from the beginning? Eyes, tell me your favorite moment in the comments. And if you enjoyed this series, like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more stories like this. Until our next story, Red Heart,